This will be some really good information. Mainly, I want to tell you all what I did to grow doingthegoodwork.com into a six-figure company part-time as an entrepreneur. And it has given us the confidence, my wife and I, to allow her to leave her job. So she is a part of the Great Resignation. And so that was really important for us to have a company that she feels that she fits in, but also can bring in the revenue so that we can cover those extra expenses, because my wife likes things. And she likes trips, and it's important that she gets what she wants and what she likes. We also just had a 5-month-old, so it was really important for her to be at home with him, and having a stable, consistent income other than my 9 to 5 allow for that. And so I'm gonna stop this music here. We're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna make this quick, easy, but also make sure that you got your pen and pad out. Feel free to use the chat option to ask any questions, but we're gonna get this thing started. And so this webinar is how to start a diversity business with a 9 to 5. And here's the reason why I really jumped in to this space. One is I believe that this industry is growing, has grown so much, not only in the last 20 years or so, but in the last couple years, due to being in the pandemic and all of the injustices that people were witnessing on social media and the news, really grew this industry to recognize like $8 billion, an opportunity for $8 billion. And so I want you all to see yourselves being a part of, playing a role of, getting a piece of the $8 billion diversity industry. And it's still young. It's actually one of the youngest industries that has this kind of revenue. And so I want to see you all, of course, be able to jump in. Still letting the folks in as we go on this journey. And so here, let me tell you a little bit about why you are here. So one, why you are here is because you're in the right place if you tired of doing the free diversity work, right? When we're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we all know that those are 3 sets of work. And a lot of times these organizations ask you to do it for free when we know that people are getting paid a lot of money to ignore the problems, right? Not only ignore the problems, but act like they don't even exist. And so now they want you to do this work for free. It's not something that I'm teaching, not something that I'm asking. And hopefully I see you see yourself put in a position where you're able to actually leverage your business to ensure that you're growing your brand and your finances. You're in the right place if you wish you had more financial freedom than what your 9 to 5 offers. It's important. I'm gonna throw people on mute just to make sure that we are getting folks to hear everything. But recognizing that in this 9 to 5 space, a lot of times they're not offering the financial freedom that you wish that you had. And a piece of that is also seeing that even the Great Resignation, especially in the industry I'm in, higher education, you're not getting the increases that go along with inflation, right? And so how are you making up that money? We are seeing people who want to retire not able to because, right? Because they don't make enough money. They haven't made enough money across their career. You want to get paid, you're in the right place if you want to get paid your worth and do good diversity work for the community, right? One thing I've learned in doing this work is that a lot of times if you don't ask, you won't receive. Like, keeping it very simple. A lot of people see you do this work for free, and so they expect you to keep doing it for free. Some leaders, even in organizations, see you doing it for free and they know you want to get paid and won't make the opportunity or space for you to get paid. And so that's why you're here, right? It's because you know that you got to ask for what you're worth. You're in the right place if you need guidance and support on your diversity business journey, right? Recognizing that this is a journey. A lot of folks who I work with who've done this work, who are in, at least in higher education or education in general, even in seeing social work, they treat it as if it's in social work. They treated it as if it's in higher education. So thinking about higher ed, it's about outcomes. But when you're in a business, it's about solving problems. That's why you get paid. It's to solve a problem, not to teach people how to meet an outcome. And that's what I see from a lot of folks from my industry, is that they approach business trying to prove outcomes when the reality is outcomes don't get you paid. Solving problems does. And the reason why I've gotten to 6 figures is because I've solved many of my clients' problems, right? And hopefully I'll solve some of your problems today. So become a diversity entrepreneur, right? It positions your business in an industry that pays for your work, right? A lot of times we are selling products that don't sell. And so you wonder why you don't get paid is because the clients that you are looking to sell to don't purchase that, right? Also, being a diversity entrepreneur solidifies your expertise through your business by building a brand around your skills and talents. So doing the good work has helped me become the faculty member before the PhD, right? It has helped me secure not just opportunities to teach, which is what I've wanted to do all my career, but also secure opportunities to keynote national conferences, regional conferences, statewide conferences. Some of you might have even seen me at a conference speaking. And I'm just letting folks in. And so this is what I'm telling you to say, like, a lot of times folks are waiting on somebody to see them as an expert, when the reality is they're not going to see you until you put yourself out there as the expert and they see it, right? They need to visualize you. They need to have multiple pieces of contact with you or with your work to see you as an expert. And doing a diversity business for me has done that through content marketing, right? Letting people know what I talk about, what I teach about, how I do my work. And so this is a way for you to be able to solidify yourself in your industry by starting a business. Because again, a lot of folks respect people who are entrepreneurs. A lot of folks respect people who are CEOs. What they don't want to do is do the sales, do all that stuff. And that's where I come in and kind of coach you and make it easy. So I'm going to tell you, stay to the end, because I got a nice little bonus for folks who are really ready to jump in. Really ready to jump in, okay? And so, you know, if you stay to the end, of course, you'll get multiple freebies. Of course, if you're on the email list, you'll get a list of freebies already free in your email that literally get you get started without any pay, without paying anybody, right? But I think you all are at the point where you're ready to scale, you're ready to make multiple, maybe 5 figures in a year, maybe 6 figures in a year. And so I'm ready to help you folks do that. And so let me tell you a little bit about the old me. Before I started my business, I tried to start business with a large group of people, try to start real estate companies, record labels, you name it. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but that failed, right? I tried to start a business based on somebody else's talent and skills and ideas, and that also failed. So throw a 1 in the chat if you've ever started a business with somebody else, and let me know how'd it go. Hopefully it went well. I'm looking at the chat. Throw a 1 in the chat if you started a business with somebody else. The old me also tried to stay in industries and jobs that weren't a good fit for me, even working under bosses that I knew was trying to stifle my growth. They didn't want to see me succeed in my business. And so, of course, That failed as well. Had to leave them jobs, had to leave them bosses, right? People don't quit jobs, they quit bosses. A lot of times that is the truth. But also I still saw myself being a successful entrepreneur. I still saw myself owning a successful business. And this is the thing for folks of color, folks who are from marginalized community. Ownership is the surest way to our own success. Ownership is the surest way to ensuring that we get our value. And oftentimes when we're working for these organizations, they own our work. And so we create all this amazing stuff and then they own it. So what does that do for us? When we retire, we are not able to retire at the age that we want because we don't have the money that we want. We don't have the legacy, or we're not leaving the legacy behind for our children, our grandchildren, because again, the work that we spent years building, somebody else owns. And so the new me, I have not paid for a professional conference out of my own pocket since 2017. Every time I go to a conference, and my wife loves going to conferences, especially the International Urban Education Conference in the Bahamas, all expenses paid. And that was a tax write-off because I was presenting. I've been a part-time entrepreneur making an extra 25K a year at least. And I'll show you a little bit more about that in a second. I've solidified myself as a diversity expert in higher education without a PhD. Some of you on this call, I've had conversations with about the work that I do, right? Not saying that, I'm the best diversity educator out there. I don't believe that I'm the best. I still have a lot of learning. I still have a lot of growing to do, but I've keynoted statewide, regional, national conferences on my work. And a lot of you want to do that as well and get paid for it, right? That's the thing. That's the difference between what I see from a lot of folks is like, yeah, I keynoted this conference, but they paid somebody else, right? And that's not what we're looking for. And so I'm going to tell you the exact things that I did to grow doingthegoodwork.com into, again, a six-figure company. So I hope that you're listening. Pull out your pen and pad, right? This is the part where you're going to take some good notes, okay? We still got a little second to get to the strategy piece, but I want to make sure that you are getting your notes out. Kavita, thank you so much. Listen, I have not done anything that you all can't do. And I'm going to say that one more time. I haven't done anything that you all can't do. I've grew doingthegoodwork.com with a wife, with children, with a nice daycare bill, with a 9-to-5, owning a home. Many of you are all in that position. And so this is, again, not something that you can't do. So first and foremost, I gotta say that my wife was literally the first person to really help me see that I can do this. Not only did she help me see that I can do this, she let me know that I was really becoming somebody different than she met. Right, through the work that I was doing already in the community. She started seeing me mature. She started seeing me grow. She started seeing me break down the old person that I was and becoming this new educator extraordinaire, right? Leadership educator extraordinaire through the work that I was doing, right? And so thankful, right, for my wife. She actually is the first person that created and built my website. I tried to design it myself. It looked terrible, right? And so having somebody behind you to kind of say, hey, this is not that good, maybe I can make it better, was really, really helpful, right? Another piece of my turning point was, you see me maybe in the background here, right? This was the first diversity class I ever taught after never, ever teaching a class ever on a college campus. And so, of course, I didn't have the words to say. And so what I did was I shared my experiences. What I did right, what I did wrong, how did I grow? And what that did was that turned that community into an amazing space that students felt like they can do the same, right? Another turning point, and I like to say I had the cheat code. Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington, who's a pillar in student affairs and higher education, literally was my mentor, or is my mentor. Not only that, I went and got learning, or went and joined the Social Justice Training Institute, So I paid for the institute, right? Not only that, I paid for him to come to our campus. So after paying for him to come to my campus, I also said, hey, I am looking to do what you do. And he said, here's my slides, use them, right? And so my opening conversations on race, webinar, workbook, workshop, keynote, all that good stuff is literally based off work that he gave me for free. And so that's why I give out a lot of free stuff, right? Because I got into this industry for free. Now I had to do my own work. I couldn't plagiarize his work. I couldn't just go verbatim and try to be him. One thing that you know about Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington is he is one of the most unique professionals in the field. So I can't be him. But what I can do is learn how to do the work like him. And that's what I did, right? So I had the cheat code, right? And so one thing I will say is invest in mentorship, right? That hopefully can turn into sponsorship. Another turning point was I was still working a full-time job as I was making this transition. And of course, this incident happens on a campus, which I am the coordinator for multicultural affairs. And I also don't have a director because my department decided not to hire for that position. So I'm reporting to a VP through all of these incidents I'm going to tell you about, right? And if you see that the university called this a prank, right? This is official email from the university, called it a prank, and then protected the young lady, a white woman, who did this incident, right? Later that year, KKK leave N-words was spray painted on a wall. Again, I am reporting to a VP, and I put together a space for students, staff, faculty to come be in the space. And I tell you, I went from being a facilitator to a mic runner. I'm the only person on the campus that does race-related programming. And I literally went from a facilitator of the space with an outline to a mic runner. So I'm like, dang, this is how VPs are treating me, right? Also, this happens, right? And again, racial slur. This is closer to the end of the year, or closer to the end of the year. Students end up doing the sit-in, and then I have the same VPs who turned me into a mic runner ask me to snitch on these students, right, who did a sit-in in response to this. So they was like, well, we don't know all the students' names who were sitting in, so can you tell us? What? Like, my job is to work with students, and you want me to snitch on them so you can expel them? And so I'm like, nah, I can't do that. And then after that, they're like, well, since we don't know all 50 or so students, we're just going to expel the 4 students that we know. Literally had the ACLU had to write a letter to the university saying, like, why are you expelling students for doing a sit-in, a peaceful protest, literally, right? And so I quit. Took a $40,000 pay cut to teach leadership as a graduate assistant. This was the best decision of my life because I had also launched doingthegoodwork.com, right? And so this is the launch week post, right? Hey, I got a new business. I need to make some money. I just quit my job, took a $40,000 pay cut to be a grad assistant with a child, with a house, with a daycare bill, with a wife. So I needed to figure out how to make this work. And so one of the things that I did was I hit people's pain points, and not just people's pain points, but the pain points of the clients that I'm trying to target. And so you will see here, this is a picture of college students in a blackface, right? And so I talk about like training people who don't understand how or why this is a problem is some of the reasons why doing the good work exists, right? And I also had a webinar that was ready in the queue following an incident or a post like this. And so, hey, if you're tired of dealing with racism in the workplace, come to this program, come to this webinar, right? Like, this is the type of stuff that people don't think about when they're trying to do their social media strategy. Like, literally, when I launched my business, I already had a webinar in the queue. And so many times people are launching their business, but don't have something in the queue for their people to purchase. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 in the chat if that makes sense, right? Give me a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Yep. Listen, y'all, like, this is business, right? This is about me trying to make sure that you see me as a resource, right? I'm trying to build relationships with you to be a person that you call upon when you need this type of work, right? When you are looking to work with students on Blackface, I wanted to be one of the first people that you thought of because, again, I had work already in the queue, okay? And so with this strategy, I made a whopping $250. Y'all are like, that's probably not a lot of money. That's actually not a lot of money, which is more than what we make an hour, right? Which is more than what I make an hour. And it was amazing for me. When I saw that first check, I'm like, yeah. I was like, all right, but my expenses was a little bit more than that for that quarter of the year, right? And so how do I get to a place where I can be able to make more money? This is where I ended up finding a different strategy, right? Social media is good. I consider social media like a billboard. Billboards are important, but billboards are just about visibility. It doesn't help you close deals. You need something that's going to help you get closer to people. Because again, a billboard, you can see from a distance. So I was like, how do I get closer to people and get people closer to my work? That's when my wife, again, amazing, amazing woman, introduced me to Melissa Griffin. And she was like, yo, you should build your email list because I hear that that's the wave. And that wave has not faltered. Okay, this is again 2016, end of 2016. I bought this course for $3,000. And literally, I shared a resource with a couple Facebook groups, and it grew my email list from 0 people to 250 people in 20 days. Literally helping me solidify my brand and got me 4 gigs in 3 months. And for me at the time as a professional speaker, 4 gigs was $3,500 each. Okay, $3,500 each by just sharing a resource in the right Facebook groups. Is this making sense? Right? I'm telling you exactly what I did, okay? And I'm gonna show you the resource that I created as well. But the reason why I got those 4 gigs, because again, everything was succinct. A lot of times, again, in business, a lot of times people think that it's just sporadic. No, these are formulaic. It's a strategy, right? In higher ed, a lot of times people are all over the place. Let's try this. Let's try this. How many times have you been in a department that has 5 different strategies over 5 different years of doing the same work? Put a 1 in the chat if that's been your experience, right? Where you've had literally somebody trying a different strategy every year, time after time again. Yep. That's the problem. Many times, a lot of the folks who are in higher education, they don't think like a business. They think like an educator. So it's like, how do I get them all the information? How do I get them everything? And I'm here to tell you that actually less is more. And that's the importance of this business, right? Also within that year, I helped my mentor, Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington, secure his media presence, right? So I grew his audience from 0 to 500 in 1 week for free. And then I asked him, what are you going to do with these 500 people now that you have this audience? He's like, I don't know. I was like, well, I can create your content for you at a premium rate. So again, this is a year contract for, I want to say $3,500 a quarter. No, actually, no, more than that. Whew. I think I want to say between 5,000 to 7,000 in a quarter. Again, how are you solving people's problem? And in this case, I literally created a problem for them. I hope y'all seeing this. I literally created a problem for my mentor because I know he has a following that's way bigger than 500 people, right? But he was also in that same year ACPA president. So he needed some kind of social assistance because, you know, he's speaking, he's teaching, he's traveling the world doing his work. He doesn't have time to be on social media every day. And so I literally I priced him at a premium rate because he had to look at no content. We had literally no content meetings. And I literally created all the content for him and all the text, all the pictures, all the graphics. But again, do the math. 4 quarters, that's $20,000. $20,000. Some of y'all do social media for free. For your organization, you like for your department, you do it for free. And what I'm telling you is, if you're really confident in that, take that strategy, write it down, sell it to somebody. If they don't know how to do it, teach them how to do it, and that's also something you can get paid for. If they don't know how to create content for them. That's a 3-tier service that you can provide at a premium rate for an organization or a person that literally has no idea what they're doing. And so what I learned, pain points pay, right? You get people in a position where they have a problem, solve that problem, you get paid. You need a business strategy when creating a diversity business. So I've showed you, I have my own strategy. I'm gonna post these social media, things where all these students have these issues. Hopefully somebody buys. It didn't really work that well, right? I had to invest. So paying $3,000 for that coaching program, that online course, which again, I had no visibility with nobody. It was literally, you watch the modules, you implement. You couldn't ask questions. There was nobody to ask questions to. But it's important to provide quality work. And that what drives profits through the roof. Okay. And so here, let me show you a little bit, right? So you will see here, this is one client. And actually, this is only 2 of the checks that I secured. One being 15,000, another being 10,000. So I'm not lying. I'm not lying to y'all when I tell you I've made at least $25,000 a year part-time as an entrepreneur. At least 25,000. Last year was, well, let me just say this. The year the 2020 year, I had to pay $10,000 in taxes. That's how much money I was able to make, all right? $10,000 in taxes, okay? This is the beauty of doing this work, right? Is when you got $10,000 to pay in taxes, right? Also was able to secure buying a new home, right? Also was able to secure making sure that, actually newly built home, right? Moving my whole family across the country to start a job. Like, my business helped me do that. And so this is about you becoming the new you. So are you ready to get started? Are you ready to jump in? Let me know in the chat. Are you ready to jump in? Throw me a 1 in the chat. Throw me a 2 in the chat if you're ready. Throw me a 2. Give me a 2. Like, yo, I'm ready. Give me a 25K. I don't care what you got. Give me something. Give me something in the chat if you're ready to dive into the work. Yeah, 25K. That's what we're gonna talk about. There you go, Joseph. There you go, Kavita. Somebody's ready, right? And I just appreciate y'all just being here, even if you're silent, right? Even if you're silent, I appreciate you being here because I know you want to do this work and get paid for it, right? I know you want to do this work and get paid for it, and you just been spinning the gears on how, right? Spinning the gears on how. So let's get started. First, budgeting and scheduling your time. Okay, budgeting and scheduling your time. So what do I mean by that? Let me throw y'all a little bit of bone here. All right, I'm gonna jump to my iPad here. You should be able to see my whiteboard here. All right, so what we know for sure is that scheduling is the best defense to any chaos and empty promise in your life. Scheduling is the best defense to any chaos and empty promises. So how many of y'all have told yourself, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to focus on getting my money up, but didn't? How many of y'all told yourself, this is my year where I'm going to put myself out there, and that didn't happen? Right? Think about it. Like chaos is complete disorder and confusion. Many times you don't start because it feels too confusing to start a business, right? Empty promises are when you say to yourself, this is meaningful, but your actions say differently, right? And it's because you don't put it on your schedule. And so what I really want to do is I want you to make time for this. Right? I'm talking about, like, I literally did this with a house, with a child, with a wife, daycare bill, PhD program, and a full-time job. So how did I do it? How? Right? So what we know is that there's a block of time that you usually can't mess with, right? So this is the 9 to 5 time, right? That's work. We all got work. But in work, there's called a lunch break. Lunch. Sorry, my penmanship is not that great, right? So what I'm telling you is, if you aren't sending out anything, proposals, you're not doing social media scheduling, right? What are you using your lunch break on? Are you using your lunch break to work for the same people who said you probably need to take a lunch break? Do you spend your lunch break in your office doing emails, right? Trying to catch up on stuff that's not going to make you any money? Think about that, right? If the goal is to free yourself, right, of these organizations having pull and more promise in your time than you need to use your time wisely. So you got the lunch break. You need to be doing something in the lunch break, right? So that's already 7 hours or 5 hours of the week that you get for your business, right? If you're like me, there was a time where I got up and was able to actually function, and get things done before the workday. And so, I'm not a huge person who likes to travel. Like, I don't like to have a long commute to work. And so I would even say, let's say 7 to 8 time, right? So then that's another 5 hours that you can do biz stuff. Now, I am also father, husband, and I take those roles seriously. And so this after work time, 5 to 8 is family time. Right? That's important. Like I have to do that every day, Monday through Friday, right? I got to do that every day. But then when I put the kid to bed and then my wife goes to sleep, what am I doing from 8 o'clock to, let's say, 11? What are you doing? What are you doing? You catching up on Scandal, right? Or whatever the newest TV show is, Snowfall, or, I think they got now like the Ghost series on Showtime. Like, right? You're watching TV, Netflixing. What you doing? What you got going with that time? This is also biz time, right? And many times the reason why folks don't get this work done. So this is again 8, let's say 3 hours times 5. So that's 15 hours. So now we have 25 hours available. Now, are we using that time? Maybe not, right? Maybe not. Let's just be realistic. Like, are we really using all that time? Probably not. But the reality is it's available. And many times y'all don't see that the time that you are spending watching TV, catching up on your latest shows. I know that might be self-care, but dang, do you got to do it every day? And I'm really saying that because if I'm going to coach you, like I'm going to push you, right? You're not serious then, right? You're not serious about your own transformation. And so even if you do this again, 8 to 11, you got that 5 days a week available to you. So let's just be realistic and say, nah, Dar, like I ain't about to do this 5 days a week. Like, yeah, right? I'm only gonna do this 2 days, right? So let's scratch that. We're gonna do that 2 days. Right. So that takes away that 25 hours. I mean, it takes away that 25 hours, take away that 15 hours. That's only gonna be, 6 hours, right? But then that's still 11 hours. It's still 11 hours. And I'm serious about what you do at your lunch break. Like what you do at your lunch break. And you might have some people who are in a staff role who is like, doing stuff on my work time is not good for my organization. That doesn't look good on me. I totally get that. Totally get that. Right? Then that means that you just got to do it before or after work. But the schedule is there. Right? And when I say what I say you need to budget your time, that's literally what I mean. It's like budget. So like budget your time to 0. So what are you spending your time on? And then we haven't even talked about weekends. We haven't even talked about weekends. So that's just at the basic level. You should probably have 11 hours. Now, if you're in school like me, you might have a little less time, but still possible. Do anybody have any questions about that? Anybody have any questions before I move forward? Any questions? Again, budget your time to 0. So that means if you got family time, put it in there. If you got gym time, put it in there. If you got, I go home and see my mama, my grandmama, my dad, granddad, put it in the schedule. But the reality of the situation is none of them is going to make your business work. They all are going to be like, give me more of your time. And none of them are going to say, I'm going to give you my time to help you secure your $100,000 opportunities. None of them. And so this is about you being selfish. And the cool thing is when you're an entrepreneur, your selfishness is to serve, especially being a diversity entrepreneur. Your selfishness is to serve. And so are you really being selfish? Not really. You're just making sure that the right people get your time. And the right person is always starts with you. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the PowerPoint. So joining a program or something like that, I'm in 2 coaching programs right now, one for speaking, one for daily accountability, pay for them. Because again, I need to hold myself accountable to my goals, right? I pay for them out of my business account, right? So that's tax deductible, right? I get money back for saying that I did that, right? And so you join a program to make sure that you do the thing that you say you were going to do for you, so that you don't continue to empty promises. Okay. Right. I'm gonna move this thing forward, right? Expenses and pricing. So here's the things that you need. I'm gonna just put them, I'm gonna put them actually all, start where are you gonna start, right? So I'm gonna put them in the chat so you can have them and put up the chat. Just at the very basics, you need a website, you need a domain, you need a marketing budget and a travel budget. Especially if you're going to speak, teach, educate, whatever, right? If you're doing webinars, if you're going to start a webinar business, then you might not need a travel budget, but I think somebody might call upon you, right, to speak somewhere. So you might need to have that in your budget. And so why did I say that? One, tell me a brand that you trust that does not have a website. Can anybody do that? Tell me one brand that you trust that doesn't have a website. Anybody? I'm looking in the chat just to see. Put a hand up, me. Exactly. Right. This is not about trying to make sure you got the coolest thing on earth, right? The most dynamic website ever. I told you mine was basic. It had 4 pages. It had 3 pictures on each page. It had information about my work. Basic. I paid $12 a month on Squarespace. That's what I did, right? So just so you know, and Squarespace also has templates, so you can just drag and click. You like, oh, I don't like this picture. Let me replace it. Boom. Oh, I don't like this text. Boom. Here's my text. $12 a month. Now I have Asana, I have scheduling, I have a virtual assistant, I got a videographer, I got QuickBooks, I got Zoom, I got Kajabi. That's an all-in-one marketing and course creation platform. So my expenses a month are pretty up there. Whereas, when I first started, my expenses a month was just my website domain. So hold on, we got making sure. Okay, we got somebody in there. All right, cool. And then pricing. Everybody wants to know about pricing. Like, how much do I charge? How much do I charge? Anybody thinking about that? Anybody like, oh, I don't know. So here's my thought. If you're going to do this full time, if you're like, I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to do this full time, your expense for whatever one signature thing, service, product that you provide should be your monthly expenses, right? Your rent or mortgage, right? Your rent, your mortgage, right? Your bills, your cell phone, right? All that stuff, and your business. So it should be that. And so if that is, $5,000 a month, one speech should be $5,000. Like, keep it at that. If you're going to do this part-time, it really depends. It really depends on the level of product or service that you provide. And so, what most people won't tell you is that pricing alone is really more about over delivering on value, right? Over delivering on value. And so you got this webinar for free and probably already got a few strategies on what you need to do to start your business, right? And I'm only at the very beginnings of it yet, right? So your pricing is really important. You need to understand what your competition pricing is as well. What is the industry standard for whatever product or service that you provide? And so if that's speaking, teaching, whatever, whatnot, you need to have a pricing that goes with your industry. So in higher ed, if you are in higher ed, doing one speech, one keynote, depends on how good you are. I believe you probably are good. Anywhere between 3,500, 2,500, and 5,000 is probably like the baseline. If somebody asks you to speak, you should automatically be saying 2,500. If it's athletics, you should probably be saying between 5,000 and 7,000, maybe even 10. You should make the number scare you. If it don't scare you, it ain't high enough. And trust me, people who want to buy from you, buy from you. Like, think about the stores that you're loyal to. I got a question in the chat, but think about the store that the stores or brands that you're loyal to. Most of you don't think about pricing. You just go to it because you know they're gonna deliver, right? And so I got a question in the chat, a couple of them. So how do you handle pricing for contracts if the college has a hour rate for contract work? Okay, so ongoing contracts, I like to say it's about packaging. And so what's in your package? Okay. I don't personally like to do hourly contracts because it can get sticky with some people. I've tried it before. I like to do package pricing. So this is my work. This is how many hours it takes. This is what you're going to pay. And actually remind me of that after I finish this presentation. I'll show you one of my proposals. Okay, for my kind of like longitudinal work, right? But I don't necessarily like to do hourly because again, it gets sticky. You do hourly with employees. I'm not an employee, right? I'm an entrepreneur. So this is my price, if that makes sense. What about workshops? Again, depends. So 60-minute keynote, 2,500. You're doing a 4-hour, 5,000, right? You're doing a whole day. You can cut them a break, 7,500, right? Like, don't think about it too hard. Just, this is the price. Because the reality is confidence sells more than anything else, right? If you like, I'll give it to you for, they're gonna feel like you're not confident. Like, watch when I get to the end of this, you're gonna see how confident I am in my pricing. But does that make sense, Danielle? If you're gonna do 60 minutes for 2,500, 2 hours, 5,000, or I would say 4 hours, 5,000, whole day, 7,500. Right. My experience with nonprofits specifically they are cheap. Absolutely. Some nonprofits are, absolutely. Some say they want, but they don't really understand what they need. Do you distinguish price differences by industry? Absolutely. Corporate versus higher ed versus nonprofit. So I used to do that in the beginning. Now it's just all one set price. And I get that sometimes you have to be flexible to get into the work. And so with the cheap nonprofit organizations, is there something that they can provide you in return? Right? So can they allow for you to record? Can they pay for the recording? Can they pay for a videographer or photographer? Can they provide that for you? Can they, be a good reference to multiple organizations and then CC them in an email for you, right? These are all strategies that I've used to work with clients who have smaller budgets. Because again, I want to do the work with them. I don't want them not to do the work. But at the same time, I need it to benefit me on the back end as well. And so are these nonprofit leaders in touch with other nonprofit leaders? Absolutely. Are they in touch with professional organizations? Absolutely. Can they make the contact for you? Absolutely. All you need to do is say that that's what you want in return for the work that you do. Does that make sense, Sharon? Does that make sense? Sorry, I saw you send that private, my bad. Does that make sense though? Let me know if that makes sense. Yep. And so when you're building, money is not the most important thing. It's It's showing that you have the actual solution. And so can you get somebody to record you? Can you get somebody to help you get the testimonials? Can you get somebody to make, like, you need that to get traction, right? And so you sometimes got to barter. And I've done a lot of that, especially in the beginning. Now, how you get clients? How you get clients? This is my number two. These are the two top ways that I get clients. One, professional associations. Every industry has them, multiple of them. And guess what? For a speaker like me, they pay people every year to come and get on the stage. Multiple people every year to get on the stage. So I need to make friends with them. Who are the people planning these things? I need to make friends with them. I need to follow them on social media. I need to connect with them. I need to network with them. I need to know what spaces they exist in so that I can be in those spaces. And then I can be like, hey, what's up? Right? What's going on? You're a very important person. What I also have done is literally gone to conferences and met with the conference committee people, right? Even trying my best to volunteer. Like, hey, I see that, I don't say this like this, but I see you're really important people. How can I help? Oh, you need me to clean these tables off? For sure. Oh, you need me to walk around your keynote speaker because you got to go to the next thing? Absolutely. Right? However I can serve so that I can get my name in the hats of the people who make the decisions. The next thing is content marketing. So how you all got in this webinar is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Is you have to know how to use words. Because my good friend Odell says words create worlds. And so how you use words creates a sense of urgency for certain people, right? Absolutely creates certain spaces to get to people. And so want to make sure that you're doing that, right? Want to make sure that you're creating content that speaks to the problem that you solve. And so if you saw a message that said you're tired of doing free work on diversity, I just literally created a world for you in one question. Do you want to get paid your worth for the diversity work you do in the community? Again, I created a world for you. Do you want to enter the $8 billion diversity industry? That's a world. Content marketing is the keys to what I've had, the success that I've had, right? But it's also about how you use words. Your products and services. So I don't like to go deeper into like what is going on or like what product or service you should have. But I speak, I teach, I do webinars, I facilitate dialogue, right? I'm going to be writing books and all that stuff as soon as I finish my PhD and good stuff, right? But what do you do? Like, what do you do? Next, what problem do you solve? So I help leaders identify their strength and make better decisions during conflict, right? Also help SA pros do diversity work with students because they can't say the things that I can say as a speaker. You see the problem that I saw? Right? What tools do you use? So I use PowerPoint, workbooks, stories, pair share, assessments, polls, large and small group dialogue. These are all tools, right? That I've gotten training on. It's so funny. Like I've gotten training on using these tools. And this is the first year that I've gotten training on actually being a speaker. But again, what tools do you use? Right? What's your product or service? And can you give it away for free? You see, I'm doing webinars, free. I'm giving you all the information that I can for free, right? And then we're going to be jumping into VIP in a second. And so I can really specifically answer all of your questions, right? And I'm going to not just give you the what I did, how I did it, because that's what everybody wants to know. And then you need to put clients into a sales funnel. You all are in a sales funnel if you got on my email list, right? If you got the email list, you will get sent 5, I believe, free resources to help you start your business, right? Without having to pay anything. And that's a funnel that you are in my business. And so I launched a program on June 19th. You will know if you're on that email list. All right. If you're just here because you got the link, cool. Shoot your email in the chat. I'll make sure that I'll put you in on the list so you can get subscribed, because I'm gonna be sending out some amazing resources to help you get started. And then building your email list. A lot of folks focus on social media, and I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of people who make multiple 6 figures in a year and don't even have a Facebook, or they only have a Facebook page for advertising. Like, they don't do personal stuff. Multiple 6 figures a year. Literally, my coach just closed a $75,000 contract. She doesn't have social media at all. And it's because email list building, right? And so this is what my freebie looked like before, right? I did, what are your ideas about race? And a racial definitions worksheet, right? Activity worksheet. Very basic. Helped me get from 0 to 250 people on my email list in a short amount of time. Now, my new freebie is going to be the free ebook my new freebie is going to be the free ebook, 5 reasons why your organization is not talking about race. Do y'all see the growth here? Right? Y'all see the growth? And all I'm telling you is if you know the problem that you solve, you got a freebie right there, like literally 5 reasons why you blank. But you gotta know the problem that you solve. And that's why coaching is important. I didn't get here because, oh my gosh, like I was just so smart and amazing, right? It's because I know the problem that I solve and I hit those points hard. So now you might be asking, like, how do I get clients? How do I create products and services? Why do I need email sales funnels? Right? Some of you, like, you need a problem. You need a problem to solve. So like, who's failing at solving the problem that you are trying to solve? Who's successful? How are you the answer, and what makes your work unique? You need to be able to answer those questions. I know who's in my industry. I know who's the people who does the work that I do, right? I've read How to Be an Anti-Racist. I've seen Dr. Ibram X. Kendi on webinar. Not my favorite webinar person, right? Not my favorite webinar personality, but I've seen his work, right? You need to know what problem you solve. So, and again, I'm not coming in like Dr. Kendi. I'm not coming in there like, I survived so many things, and this book just came out of me being a survivor, and I just wanted to put it all on paper. Like, that's not me, right? If you've seen Dr. Kendi, you know what I'm talking about, right? What is the actual problem that you solve, and who has it? I know that when it comes to doing diversity work, especially opening conversations on race, there's a few organizations or departments on campuses that need help with that. I know that, right? Not only that, there's specific campuses that might have had specific incidences that I can speak to. And so all I need to do is find the right contact, right? Send the right email, put the right demo in that email to ensure that they know what they're getting, right? You need to narrow down your audience. So who are you actually trying to sell to? I know that most of my clients for my race work are middle to upper age white women and middle to upper age Black women. That's it, right? Mostly straight, right? Been in the field for years. And they are struggling to find a program on race that does not center shame, blame, and guilt, right? It doesn't get people talking all about privilege. That's what they're looking for, because they've done some of that. They've done a lot of that. So opening conversations on race is an 8-step program that helps you build relationships across diversity without centering shame, blame, and guilt. See how easy that came out? I know the problem I solve. I've got coaching to help me get to that point, right? But again, it's knowing and being succinct on the work that you do. Why do they need the help? Why do they need your help, right? Who are the influencers? What are they saying? Who are the influencers and what are they saying? You need to know so that you're not cliche. You're not coming in there sounding like everybody else. So when I say I help organization leaders build relationships across diversity without centering shame, blame, and guilt, how many people is coming to people saying that? Probably not a lot. You need a name, a mission, and a vision, right? And I'll give you an example. Here's mine, and it probably need to change a little bit, but this is mine, right? To provide innovative and inclusive professional development that strengthens multicultural leadership and capacity. Keeping it straight, keeping it succinct, keeping it easy, right? Some of y'all want to write full-blown paragraphs for your mission and vision, right? My vision is just to be a national research for multicultural leadership education for individuals, organizations, and communities. You can take this. You can have it, right? Once you build your website, you just need something to start. Go to doingthegoodwork.com and use it, because again, I use my competitions. You need to have a legit business like an LLC and an EIN. And if you are on the email list, if you have registered, right, you will get the how to create an LLC guide that literally takes you step by step. Now, you do need to find the website for your state. If you're in Michigan, it's Lara, like Michigan Lara, Lara. North Carolina, I can't remember the exact name. But this process is super easy, and I will go over that with you in my coaching program to make sure that you have a legit LLC and EIN, right? An EIN is a federal number that makes sure that you get paid. When somebody says, "All right, I need you to sign this W-2, or I need your W-2s." What you don't want is to have your social security number be the thing that they pay, because they're taxing you, not your business, one. The next thing is LLC protects you in case somebody sues you. So if you're using your personal name for your business, right, and you're not protected under an LLC, so if you're not, Danielle Gregory LLC, you're just Danielle Gregory, you get sued, they can sue you for everything. Now, this is, if in the Black community, this is what they call why the same club opened with a different name, right? That's why, right? Because the LLC got sued, but it's still the same owners. They just different name. That's why. You don't want to be held accountable for somebody suing you, because they can sue you for your house, your car, your clothes, everything. But your LLC, they can sue your LLC for whatever's in your LLC. I hope that's making sense, right? So here's the 3 ways that I make money: training, coaching, and speaking. You need 3 ways, at least 3. But in my coaching program, we just start with 1, because I want you to know exactly what you do, right? You need a sales strategy. Okay, so at what level in development or income do you need an LLC at the very beginning, right? If you're starting tomorrow, the first thing you need to be starting with is getting your LLC. Present at conferences, send demos, email funnels. These are the top 3 sales strategies that I use to make money, okay? And you need to provide a freemium. I believe in this. This is the thing that has gotten me to you, right? Is like, I'm literally telling you everything that I did to start my business, everything that I did to start my business. And all you asking for, all I ask for in exchange is an email, right? And so when you help someone for free, if they get your best work, you'll probably close 10 to 50% of that work. You'll probably close 10 to 50% of the people. And so I got about 50 or so people on my list for the Diversity Entrepreneur Academy. I'm only taking 10, right? So I'm looking to close, what, 20%? And so again, I'm going to get that 20% off this webinar. I'm going to get 10 people just off of doing this webinar, right? And then I'm not even talking about doing the emails. I'm not talking about any of that, right? I'm only taking 10 people. So you might be asking, how do I get my LLC started? I'll help you with that. How do I get clients consistently? I'll help you with that. How do I develop sales scripts? I got many of those. How do I create amazing freebies? I help you with that, right? How do I write, schedule, and automate my email campaigns? I got that, right? How do I sell my products? I help you with that. But you need to make sure that you're not limiting yourself, right? Some of you might be thinking, dang, I'm not even good enough to start. That's imposter syndrome, right? You've gotten this far in your life and your career because you're amazing, right? Some of you saying that your product is not good enough or it needs to be perfect before you get started. And that's, again, perfectionism doesn't help anybody grow because you need to make mistakes, because making mistakes then lets you know what you're really about, right? It lets you know what kind of fortitude you really got. Or you can say, there isn't enough, or I'm too late. That's scarcity. All right, see ya, Kavita. Wish that, see ya. Wish that you could have got the freebie. I mean, the special bonus. But I get it. I get it. Sometimes you might be saying, I'm not ready. And what you're saying is you fear your own success, right? You might even be saying, I should be able to do this by myself. And really what you're saying is that you fear other people's perception of you. And so I'm here to tell you, get all of these limiting beliefs out of your head, because I dealt with them myself. And if I listened, I wouldn't be here with you all in a house that's newly built with a family that loves it, sharing how I got to this place. Right? Like, and some of you all worked with me in this, on this call, right? Some of you all literally seen me in spaces as an employee. And trust me and believe, like, the feelings were there, but I didn't let it stop me. Right. And so remember, I started my business with a PhD, getting a PhD, get a new job, using some of these strategies, right? You can hit your goals and start growing your business in weeks or even months if you use some of these same strategies. And these proven strategies are things that anybody in any industry can use and implement. Literally, getting emails works for every industry. Every industry has professional or associations that you can associate with, right? These are just people running these organizations. They're just people, just like you and I, right? So remember why you showed up here. Remember why you showed up. You're tired of doing free diversity work. Like, you tired of people asking you, yo, I know you're an expert at this. Just come on in. I don't even get requests like that anymore, right? And if I do, I just pass it on because people know what's up. I've been doing this for too long, right? You want more freedom than what your 9-to-5 is offering you. You want to get paid your worth. You need guidance, right? And support, and you're ready to jump in the $8 billion industry. Right? And so before I get up out of here, right, here's Here's the thing that I can help you. This is where I can help you, my friends. This is the best thing I can provide for you, right? It's 5 weeks of coaching. Module 1, determining the type of business you want to start. Is it a speaking business? Is it a webinar business? Is it a training facilitating business? What kind of business is it, right? Then you need to define your industry and your competition. Who's the people that you're trying to serve, and who's the people already doing that? Who do you want to be like, right? Who do you look up to? And they don't look at it as competition, because you need competition in the industry to know that it's big enough for you, right? How many Popeye chicken sandwiches is out there, right? Everybody can't beat Chick-fil-A. So what do? They just got a brioche bun, some Chipotle Thousand Island sauce and a couple pickles, and battered it up with some chicken. Everybody got the Popeye spicy chicken sandwiches now. Everybody. That just proves the product works. That's what that looks like in business. But in higher education, competition is like, don't use my intellectual property, don't take my property, blah, 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 blah. The reality is business is you should be copying somebody, right? Module 3 is define your target customer. Like, who is actually you're trying to sell to? And then what do they need is module 4. That's again, what do they currently buy, right? And then defining your solution. So what are you selling to them? Is it a webinar? Is it a keynote? Is it an actual product? Like, is it like a game board or something like that, right? On diversity and inclusion, or words, or card game, or, something. You need to know. And that's what I'm going to help you do. Right. And with that, you'll get 11 coaching calls. Hey, I'm glad I can help, Sharon. Hope that I see you in the coaching program. You'll get 11 group coaching calls, and I got to get up out of here and get to the VIP for folks who really going to ask those questions. But what you're going to do is get the online course. So everything is going to be recorded, edited, and then added into a portal for you to access at your own leisure, right? You're going to get workbooks for everything so you can fill out everything. One thing that I know is that people treat, especially in diversity, they treat their business like grandma's recipe. Only they know it, right? And so I have children, and I do want to pass my business down to them. And what I can do is literally hand them the business. I can literally hand them the business. Does that make sense? Right? Hopefully Sharon's still around. You got that, right? I know you got children. You might have grandchildren. I literally am going to hand my sons my business, right? I don't want you to treat your business like grandma's recipes. Here's some testimonials, right? This is all new to me. Yeah, there you go, right? This is all new to me. I came to your product pitch and it was sold. It was definitely valuable and well put together, right? She said she loved it. Then I was talking about, we got a testimonial from a person whose program blew up, and they had no idea how to systematize their business after people were trying to get their work for everything. They was trying to get 3-day-long workshops. And he was like, yo, I have no idea how to start. So my program helped him systematize his already established work so that he can grow into the demands that he was getting asked. Know that you'll also get bonuses, with the course, right? So once you get the portal access, you'll already have CEO system and tool mastermind. You'll have a creative marketing plan mastermind by Odell. If you haven't heard of Jane Rodriguez, she's an online business manager, amazing. Right, 3 most profitable revenue streams from diversity businesses by Reverend Dr. Jamie Washington and Reverend Sam Oliver. Right, you'll have social media marketing made easy, sales funnel made simple, lead magnet creation. All of these are masterminds already put in the program for you. Right, so you're like, dang, what questions do I got? Let me know. I'll create another mastermind for you, or I'll bring somebody in that does this work, because I've been doing this for 5 years, I'll bring somebody in that does the work to teach you, because that's what this is about, right? It's not about competition. It's about doing the work collaboratively, right? People want to see you doing this. And so that's why they join me to teach you how. That's as simple as I can put it. People want to see you doing this. And they reach out to me because they don't want to do all this part, right? They just want to teach you how to do what they do. And so you got a fast action bonus, all right, Sharon, you made it, right? If you purchase the program today or within 24 hours, you're going to get 2 one-on-one strategy calls, strategy and implementation calls with me. That's already worth $500. Again, I do $250 an hour. All right, we're going to talk about your email system. We're going to talk about your freemium. We're going to talk about your social media, your business plan, your client call, whatever you need, right? You're going to get that for free, right? If you buy the program today. Also, you're going to get $1,000 off just in 24 hours. $1,000 off, right? After I launch this program, the course alone is going to be on my website for $19.97. I already have a proposal at a conference on how to start a diversity business with a 9-to-5 accepted, and the price is going to be $19.97. I already have a conference proposal accepted, right? After the date, and it's going to come with no coaching for $19.97. Today, if you get it within 24 hours, you literally pay $9.97, right? And if you need a payment plan, we got that for you, right? So let's look at the total value. You're going to get this webinar. You're going to get coaching. You're going to get courses. You're going to get workbooks. You're going to get guest expert masterminds. You're going to get a business plan guide. You're going to get field research checklists. You're going to get 5 email resources, right? On how to start your LLC, get your EIN, what's the business, diversity business checklist, all the things that you need and how to use it, right? Social media strategy plan, all that stuff. So that's an $11,000 value. And you can literally get started today for $350. All right, and then followed by 2 more payments, but that's only within 24 hours. That price goes up to $14.97, and then the price for the payment plan is going to be 5 payments of $325. And so again, you got 24 hours, y'all. Like, I want to help you. I want to do it, and the value is there. 11 coaching calls. 11, right? And you want to get 2 one-on-one strategy implementation calls, right? For free, right? One-on-one. And so how do you enroll? I'm going to put the links in the chat right now with the payment plan. And again, we don't get started until June 19th. So at 6 p.m. we work on Sundays, right? Because Sunday is just Sunday night. So, hey, I'm glad that you got the link, Sharon. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you stuck with us, right? This is 24 hours, right? You can save yourself $500. If you get the program before June 19th, you save yourself $1,000, right? 1,000, which is, we just talked about pricing. Danielle Gregory, that's one keynote. One 60-minute keynote pays for this entire program, and you got money left. One. Okay? Like, the value is there. I don't even know how else to say it, right? I paid $3,000 for a program that literally had no person that answered any of my questions. None. That's why my freebie looked like so basic compared to what it looked like now, right? And so, of course, I'm doing a money back guarantee, 30 days. If you like, yo, I'm getting this coaching program and this is just not it, I'll give you your money back, right? You don't have access to nothing else no more, right? But I'll give you your money back, like, because I'm not trying to like get over on people. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to help you. And so again, you get all of this, $11,000 value. $11,000. And so, honestly, I wish that I can stick around to answer any questions, but I do have somebody who did jump into the VIP. And so if you are interested in the VIP, getting access, right? Getting access to me with more questions, because I did spend some time answering some questions, jump in the VIP, right? Because I think folks probably got questions and I got answers and I want to help, but I can only help so much. And so, hey, actually, I'll take one question right now. Who got one question? Okay, here we go. What tools and programs have you found most helpful? So for me, Carrie, Zoom has helped me with my webinar division, my webinar part of my company, so much because I get integrated with Facebook and most of my clients are on Facebook. I like also Asana. It really helps me build out the system. And if you come to the VIP, I'll actually show you what my Asana looks like so that you can see how I build out my customer client, system, right? How do I build out my programs? How do I build out all the emails and content that I create? How do I build out my social media strategy for the month? Like I do my social media strategy monthly. And so Asana is really, really helpful. And then if you have a thing that allows for you to schedule, that has been super helpful because a lot of people want to jump on my schedule. I'm thankful to all the people who want to collaborate, but what's hard for me is to keep tabs on all of that, right? And so I just send you a link, boom, you get on my schedule really easily, right? And there's a lot of those out there like Calendly and Acuity, and I think you can even, there's even some through like certain emails like Outlook, they have a system that you can use. But those are really, really helpful because again, a lot of folks when they see that you get out here, a lot of folks want to collaborate, right? And as they collaborate, it's like, yo, like how am I managing all of this? I can have a block of time where I literally take certain people, certain clients, certain types of calls, and that's all automated for me. So all I need to do is just show up. Was that helpful, Carrie? I'm really, really thankful that you all are here, and I hope to see you in the coaching program.